everyone, it's me, Mrs. Gronnert, and I'm here to tell you the story of Rumplestiltskin. Once upon a time, there was a miller who lived near a forest with his beautiful daughter. Now, if you don't know what a miller is someone who takes wheat and grinds it into flour. One day, the miller decided to take his wheat and go sell it to the king. So he went with all of his bags of wheat to the king. Now, the miller had a little bit of a problem. He was a bit of a bragger. So when he got to the king to sell his wheat, he said to the king, "Oh, king, my wheat is the best wheat in the kingdom. My flour will make your cakes and pies and bread so delicious. And king, did you know that my daughter is the most beautiful girl in the entire kingdom?" She is. And she's super smart. She's very beautiful. She knows how to sew. She can cook. And oh, guess what else she can do? This is the best. She can spin straw and turn it into gold. She can do what? Said the king. She can spin straw on a spinning wheel and turn it into gold. She can? Well, I want you to bring your daughter here tonight to show me her wonderful skill. Now, the miller didn't realize the horrible danger that he put his daughter into by telling that terrible lie. So that night when he went home, he told his daughter, "Oh, daughter, guess what? You get to go and meet the king." Now, I did tell him something. I told him you could spin straw into gold. You told him what? Yes, I did. I told him you could spin straw into gold. Why did you say that, Father? Don't worry. I know exactly what will happen. When the king sees you, he'll say, "Oh, this is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my entire life." And he's going to fall down on his knees and ask you to marry him then and there. Oh. Now, sadly, this is not what happened. When the beautiful girl went to see the king took her right away to a room in the top of a tall tower. The room was filled with piles and piles of straw. And the only other thing in the room was a spinning wheel. The king put her in that room. He locked the door and walked away. Now the poor girl didn't know what to do. She fell down upon her knees and began to cry. Oh. I don't know what I'll do. Oh, help! I don't know what to do. As she was crying, her cries were so loud that they awoke and were heard by a hobgoblin who lived in the other side of the forest. Suddenly, he appeared in her room. "Why, dearie, dear, don't worry. What is it that you need? I can help you." "Oh, please, I need help. My father told the king that I can spin all of this straw into gold, and I can't do it." "Oh, that's not a problem at all. What will you give me if I help you?" "Well, I have a necklace. Would you take my necklace?" "Of course I will, darling. Just you sit down and I'll begin. Thank you." So the little hobgoblin took the straw, wove it through the spinning wheel, and suddenly, instead of a room piled with straw, the room was filled with piles and piles of pure gold. When all the straw was gone, The hobgoblin disappeared from the room, and the girl was left sitting there. When the king came to see what had happened in the morning, he opened the door, and oh, was he happy. But this king was a bit of a greedy king. One room full of gold was not enough for him. So he said to the girl, "All right, you did it once, but can you do it again? Tonight I'll take you to another room." And that's exactly what he did. He took the beautiful princess, the beautiful girl, to another room, piled with tall piles, even more straw than the last time. He put her in the room, he locked the door, and he walked away. Well, of course, the poor girl sat down and began to cry. And her cries awoke the strange hobgoblin that lived at the other side of the wood. "Why, dearie, I can help you again. What would you give me if I spin this straw into gold?" "Well, I have a ring. Would you take my ring?" "Why, of course, we have a deal, we have a deal." And he took the ring, and he sat down, and he spun, and he spun, and he spun, and all of the straw turned into piles and piles of gold. The room was filled almost to the ceiling. When it was finished, he disappeared. In the morning, the king came, unlocked the door, and found a room full of gold. I love this. Now, I'm going to take you to another room with even more gold. Let's see if you can do it again. And if you do not, I will take your life. But if you can spin one more room into gold, I will let you be my wife. So he took the girl to another tall tower that had even more straw piled everywhere in the room. And he put her inside and locked the door. Well, of course, the girl was beside herself crying because she thought that if she didn't turn all of the straw into gold, she would surely die. So she began to cry. Her cries were so loud that they awoke the hobgoblin who lived at the other side of the wood, and he came. "Oh, dearie, I can help you. I can turn all of this straw into gold for you again. What will you give me?" I have nothing. I gave you my necklace. I gave you my ring. Why, I have nothing else to give." "Oh, but you do, you do. When you marry the king, surely you will have a child. When you have your child, you shall give it to me." Well, all right. We have a deal, we have a deal, we have a deal. Now the poor girl didn't realize the deal that she had made with the hobgoblin because she was so distraught. She knew if she didn't turn the room filled with straw into gold, she would die. So the hobgoblin sat happily and spun all of the gold into straw. All of the straw into gold. The room was filled. When the king came the next morning, he found the girl and all of the gold piled high to the ceiling. He was so overjoyed that he said, "Oh, my dear, not only are you beautiful, but you can turn straw into gold. You will be my wife." And the king and the girl were married. Many years passed. The girl had forgotten the promise that she had made to the hobgoblin. And after a few years, her first baby was born. After about the first week, the hobgoblin showed up in the baby's room. Oh, my dear queen, you owe me. That baby is mine. No, please. Now the princess had forgotten all about the terrible promise she made to the hobgoblin and thought he would never bother her again. No, please, no. Isn't there something I can do? Please, no, my baby, no, please. Oh, all right. I'll give you 3 chances to guess my name. I'll be back for 3 days and we will see if you can guess my name. If you do, the baby's yours, but if not, it's mine, all mine. And he disappeared. Well, the queen was not like her father. She was smart and kind, so she told the king exactly what had happened and about what happened with the hobgoblin. They sent out everyone in the entire kingdom to search for any name they could think of. The queen wrote them down in a long list. So when the hobgoblin appeared the next day, all right now, guess my name. She started to read the list. Kenneth, Giovanni, Cowan. No. Peter, Lawrence, Jenya. No. The queen read on and on through the list. She read every name that people had sent her from all around the kingdom, and not one belonged to the hobgoblin. I will be back tomorrow for your next try. So that night, all of the kingdom went out again, searching for the strangest names they could find. And the next day, the hobgoblin showed up again. Can you guess my name? Now this time, the princess thought of all the strange names she could. Billy Wonka? Slimy. Crabtree. Big Toe. No. With every name the princess read, she did not find the name of the hobgoblin. So he disappeared again. You have 1 more day, and then the baby's mine, all mine. Well, that night, everyone in the kingdom went out again. As they were out, the king went by a fire at the far side of the forest. And near the fire, he saw a very strange and ugly creature singing and dancing a terrible song. Oh, I will have the baby. It will be mine. For my name's Rumplestiltskin. No one will ever guess it at all. He went home as quickly as he could, and he told the queen. I heard his name. It was Rumplestiltskin. All right. So, the next day he appeared. You will never guess my name, dear queen. Why don't you just give me the baby now? No, I will guess the name. What about Fred? No. How about Bob? Jack? George? Ichabod is your name. Rumplestiltskin. What? What did you say? I said Rumplestiltskin. No! How did you guess it? How did you guess my name? A witch told you it was a witch. Was it a witch? No! Now the little man was so angry that he began to jump. He jumped so hard that he jumped himself straight down into the earth. Never to be seen again. And the queen and king and their wonderful baby lived happily ever after. The end.